Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into something huge, the incredible power of belief. How this, well, invisible force actually shapes your reality day in, day out. And maybe more importantly, how can you consciously grab the wheel, use belief to build real confidence and, actually achieve those big goals?
That's exactly it. We're diving into the ideas from Peebaugh Maurice's book, Master Your Beliefs.
Mhm.
You brought us the source material, and, well, our mission today is to really unpack the core stuff. Understand how belief actually works, maybe pinpoint what's holding you back specifically, and of course, find those practical tools to build that kind of unshakable confidence you need. We want to get right to the heart of what this book offers you.
Okay, so let's start right there. At its core, what is belief according to this material? It sounds simple, but maybe it's not.
The book actually defines it pretty plainly. It's basically just a thought you choose to think again and again until it just runs on autopilot.
Mm-hmm. That internal chatter.
Yeah, that constant internal monologue, whether you really tune into it or not, it shapes your inner world. And, well, that shapes your outer world, too.
And that inner world gets programmed pretty early on, doesn't
Uh-huh.
it? The source really highlights how things like, well, what your parents said, teachers, the media.
All that external input.
Right. It leaves a deep imprint,
Yeah.
often creates those first automatic thoughts. If you were told over and over you weren't good at math, say,
Yeah.
that thought can just harden into a belief, even if you actually could be good at it.
Absolutely. It's a loop, isn't it? The environment shapes the self-talk. The self-talk becomes the belief. It reinforces itself.
Okay, so let's get to the really interesting part, the sheer power of this. The source calls belief a superpower. Says it can even distort reality. How does that work?
Well, it's not like bending spoons with your mind, exactly.
Right.
It doesn't change objective facts, but it radically changes how you interact with those facts. So if you genuinely believe you can improve at something, that belief changes how you think, how you feel, and critically how you act.
Mm-hmm.
You start looking for feedback instead of dreading it. You're willing to try a different approach. You get back up after you stumble.
Okay.
That whole mindset just opens up possibilities that stay completely closed off if you think, I'm just not good at this. It basically gets your subconscious pulling in the same direction, working for the outcomes you believe are possible.
And that belief, that energy,
Yeah.
it projects outward too, doesn't it? I remember the source mentioning Tony Robbins,
Yeah.
that quote about certainty.
Exactly. The person with the most certainty wins. If you have that deep conviction in what you're doing, your idea, your product, yourself, people feel that it's influential.
Yeah, you can sense it.
Definitely. And it also lets you see potential in other people. If you're bogged down by your own doubts, it's hard to really champion someone else. But if you're coming from a place of strong self-belief, you can spot that spark in others and help them see it too.
Now, the book is clear. This isn't just wishful thinking. Like, thinking I'm rich doesn't magically fill your bank account. There's a piece missing.
Right. It's not instant manifestation. Thoughts create reality, the source argues, when they are sustained, held over time, and crucially, charged with strong mental energy. That means real belief, conviction, commitment. That's the fuel.
Okay, so sustained thought plus that energy that leads to action.
Yes, exactly. That mental energy drives the action. Think about the author's own story deciding to go full-time as a writer. He didn't just hope it would work out. He had that sustained thought, yes, but it was backed up by years of action. He'd already written books, gotten good reviews, built the side business.
We had evidence.
He had evidence. So when it came time to leap, his belief wasn't just a flimsy wish. It was this active conviction, like, the only thing stopping me now is not believing I can do it. That sustained energy, fueled by belief in prior action, made the leap possible.
And it seems like the size of your thinking matters too. The source says, if your dominant thoughts are small, focused on, I don't know, what's for dinner or what's on Netflix,
Yeah, the day-to-day stuff.
your accomplishments tend to stay in that same small zone. But focusing on a really big goal actually forces you to think bigger, to become bigger in a way.
It absolutely pulls you out of just reacting to life and gets you proactively shaping it towards something more significant.
The source also touches on that tricky line between confidence and, well, arrogance. It uses examples like Bruce Lee mapping out his future fame,
His mission statement.
or Muhammad Ali saying, I'm the greatest, even before he really was. Was that just talk?
Well, the book presents it as them actively constructing their future reality, that kind of really bold self-talk when it's backed up by absolutely relentless hard work.
Right, the work has to be there.
Oh, absolutely. It's not just saying it. It's like they were programming themselves, building that internal certainty needed to actually do it. The source even suggests that sometimes you might have to risk appearing arrogant to build that truly unshakable belief inside yourself.
Okay, so belief is this active, powerful force. It shapes our inner and outer world. It's controllable.
Yeah.
So why do we still get stuck? That seems to lead us into understanding our limitations and how to build a stronger foundation.
Exactly. That's the next crucial piece. The book makes a really important point. Even super successful people have limiting beliefs. We all do.
Yeah.
And these often come from our identity, who we think we are, deep down, consciously or unconsciously.
Yeah.
And we just naturally act in ways that match that identity.
That Viktor Serebrikov example is just, wow.
Oh, yeah. Powerful, isn't it?
Being told he wasn't smart, dropping out, dead-end jobs for 15 years,
Yeah.
living completely according to that belief.
Trapped by it.
Until that IQ test flips the script. Suddenly, high intelligence. And his whole life changes managing factories, inventing things. It's such a clear picture of how a perceived limit just dictates everything.
It really shows how tied our actions are to that internal story we tell ourselves, even if the story is just plain wrong.
So the million-dollar question then is, how do you actually change that deep-seated identity if it's running the show?
Well, according to this source, it starts with a choice, like a conscious decision.
Okay.
A decision to be different, to embody certain traits, to start acting as if you are already the person who achieves those things. You deliberately align your behavior with the identity you want.
And what about dismantling those old beliefs, the ones saying you can't do it or you're not good enough or, rich people are greedy?
The book suggests actively hunting for counterexamples out in the world. Find evidence that contradicts your limiting belief.
So if you think rich people are greedy,
Go find examples of incredibly generous, wealthy people. There are tons. If you think you need to be some kind of genius to start a business,
find successful founders who seem, well, pretty normal.
exactly. Find people who built great businesses who weren't obviously brilliant academics. These counterexamples chip away at the old belief. They create doubt in the limitation. And this naturally leads into one of the most powerful beliefs the book offers.
Which one is that?
If others can, I can.
Ah, yes. That one really jumps out. It feels so liberating.
It really is a game changer. The author apparently used it himself to become a writer. He figured, look, countless people make a living writing. Someone else has figured this out, so I can probably figure it out too.
And that story about Maria learning 7 languages in 7 years.
Incredible, right? Driven by that core belief. If other people can learn languages, so can I.
It shifts everything from, do I have the talent, to what steps did they take?
Precisely. It reframes almost any big goal. It stops being about innate ability you either have or don't, and starts being about skills you can develop, processes you can learn. If another human managed this, what did they do that I can also do?
Okay, so building on that, the source talks about constructing fundamental beliefs, like upgrading your whole mental operating system. And there's one master belief, a meta belief.
Yeah, there's one that sort of sits above the others, the foundation for everything else, and that is, your thoughts shape your reality.
Okay, that sounds big.
It is big, and the book explores it less as a statement of objective scientific fact, and more as the single most empowering perspective you can possibly adopt.
Like the Matrix analogy they use.
Exactly like the Matrix analogy. The moment Neo truly gets that the world he sees isn't fixed, that the rules are artificial, suddenly he has immense power because he's no longer bound by those perceived limits.
Ah, okay. I see.
Believing your thoughts shape your reality does the same thing. It shifts you. You stop being just a passive victim of whatever happens to you.
And you become the architect.
You become the architect of your experience. You're in the driver's seat. It's the fundamental shift that makes all the other empowering beliefs possible.
And based on that foundation, the book lays out 7 specific core beliefs. These are designed to really transform things, build that solid confidence.
Yeah, let's dig into those. And what's interesting is these aren't just fluffy affirmations. They're presented as actual shifts in your core programming, how you process everything.
Okay, core belief number 1. The universe is on your side.
This is about reframing. Things aren't just happening to you randomly or negatively. They're happening for you, for your growth.
So every setback is a lesson.
Exactly. Every failure, every obstacle, it's not punishment, it's feedback, an invitation to learn, to adjust, to get stronger. It stops you feeling like a victim of circumstance.
Got it. Core belief number 2.
Uh-huh.
If others can, you can. We touched on this, but it's clearly central.
Absolutely central. It hammers home the idea that most things are skills you can learn. It directly fights that I'm not smart enough or talented enough feeling. Remember the author comparing his thousands of hours studying Japanese to how most people casually study English for a few hours a week? It shows that often it's not about raw intelligence. It's about sheer dedication and effort. So cultivate that thought. If they can, I can.
Okay. Core belief 3. You can always become better. This tackles the idea of fixed abilities.
Right. It's the power of adding one tiny word. Yet. You're not good enough.
Oh,
Yet.
right.
That simple shift makes improvement feel inevitable, not impossible. It encourages you to actually enjoy the process of learning and growing. Become an unstoppable learner.
Belief 4. If you can do something once, you can do it again. This is about building on small wins.
Exactly. Don't focus on having to do the scary, difficult thing perfectly forever. Just focus on doing it once.
Okay.
Get that one success under your belt. Now you have proof. You have internal evidence that you can do it, and that makes believing you can do it again much, much easier. It builds a track record.
Core belief 5. You can figure things out. Trusting your own resourcefulness.
Mm-hmm. We humans are natural problem solvers. We're wired for it. This belief is a reminder of that innate ability. And, importantly, the source points out, figuring it out doesn't mean you have to have all the answers inside your own head.
Right.
Sometimes it means asking for help or learning from someone else or just trying something, taking action to see what happens. Action is key. Thinking alone rarely figures things out.
Okay. Number 6. Failure is inevitable. And crucially, it's okay.
Yes. This is a huge reframe for most people. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a fundamental part of the path to success.
It's just feedback.
It's just reality telling you, okay, that approach didn't work, try something else. Successful people haven't avoided failure. They've usually failed more often than unsuccessful people. They just learned from it and kept going.
And that leads perfectly into the last one, core belief 7. Your success is inevitable. Wow, that sounds powerful.
It really is the culmination, isn't it? If you truly internalize the first 6, that you can learn anything, you can always improve, you can figure stuff out, failure is just data, the universe supports your growth, then logically, if you just keep putting in the effort, success isn't just possible, it becomes the natural, inevitable outcome.
Doesn't mean it's easy.
Oh, definitely not easy. The challenges don't disappear. But believing success is inevitable fundamentally changes how you approach those challenges. Your determination, your commitment, they go way up.
So we have these powerful beliefs.
Yeah.
How do we actually, install them, make them stick? The source offers the belief formula for this.
Right. This is the practical how-to. It breaks it down into 4 key components, 4 pillars you need to build. The first one is an empowering environment.
The classic, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Exactly that. The source really emphasizes consciously surrounding yourself with people who lift you up, who believe in you, who reinforce your potential.
And avoiding the opposite.
And actively minimizing contact with people who drain your energy, feed your doubts, or constantly shoot down your ideas. It's about being intentional. Identify people who embody what you aspire to, then find any way to spend time with them, learn from them. Maybe it's joining a group, reading their books, finding online communities.
Until you sort of outgrow your old environment.
That's the idea. Keep growing yourself until the environments that hold you back just don't feel right anymore.
Okay, second pillar, repeated actions.
This is the engine, really. Action reinforces belief. Taking steps, however small, provides evidence that you can do it. And the source makes a great distinction here between true actions, things that directly move you towards your goal, like making that sales call or writing that chapter, and what it calls feel-good activities, things that feel productive but don't actually move the needle.
Like endless research. Or redesigning your website for the 10th time.
Exactly. True action builds skills, provides real feedback, and cements belief. Feel-good activities often just mask procrastination.
And it warns about information addiction too, right? Just learning and learning, but never doing.
Yeah, using learning as an excuse not to act. Sometimes you just need to go on an information diet and focus purely on taking action with what you already know.
Okay. Pillar 3, intense desire.
This is the why. Why do you really want this? Why does believing in yourself even matter for this school?
You have to connect emotionally.
Deeply. The source talks about stacking up all the reasons. List every single benefit, every positive consequence of achieving your goal, the freedom, the impact, helping your family, proving something to yourself, whatever drives you. That intense desire is the fuel that pushes you through the tough spots.
Makes sense. And the final pillar?
Willingness to face discomfort.
The comfort zone. Growth doesn't happen there.
Nope. The source quotes David J. Schwartz. Action cures fears. Our brains are wired for survival, so anything new, uncertain, or potentially involving rejection feels scary. That's normal.
So how do you push past that fear?
A couple of strategies. One is starting small. Gently nudge the boundaries of your comfort zone. Like the author's own journey, starting with private YouTube videos, then public Facebook Live, then podcast interviews. Gradual expansion.
Okay.
Or sometimes you take a big leap. Doing something that feels almost impossible can dramatically expand your comfort zone all at once, like the skydiving example they mentioned.
Right. But with support.
Crucially, yes.
Yep.
Getting support is key, especially for the big leaps. Having role models, accountability partners, even just encouragement from friends or family. Like in skydiving, the instructor does the technical work initially, allowing you to have the experience and build the confidence that you survived, that you can handle intense durations.
So environment, action, desire, and facing discomfort. Those are the building blocks.
Those are the practical levers, yeah.
Yeah.
For building that belief and confidence day by day.
But building it is one thing. How do you sustain it? Over months, years, when things inevitably get tough. That seems like where the real power unlocks.
Absolutely. Sustaining belief through the dicks and challenges is where the magic really happens. And a huge tool for that is long-term thinking.
Right. The source makes that great point. We overestimate what we can do in a year, but massively underestimate what's possible in 10.
It's so true. So when that inevitable self-doubt creeps in, and it will, the advice is to zoom out. Shift your focus from this week's struggle to the long game, years, even decades.
Like the author's writing journey again?
Exactly. It wasn't instant. It was years of just showing up, learning, writing, trusting that the consistent effort over the long haul would eventually lead to that overnight success.
Yeah.
It's about belief in your long-term trajectory.
And tied right into that is determination, grit.
Perseverance. It's not about never feeling doubt. It's about having enough faith, enough belief to just keep going despite the doubt. Think of Edison and the light bulb filament.
10,000 attempts, wasn't it?
Something like that, just refusing to quit. And the source offers a really powerful belief to cultivate here. Others will give up, therefore I will succeed.
Ooh, I like that. It flips quitting into a strategic advantage.
It does. It frames perseverance as your edge. And developing that grit, that unstoppability, can involve consciously deciding in advance that you won't be stopped. And using affirmations, like Brian Tracy suggests, to program that into your subconscious.
And there were a couple of practical tips for grit, too.
Yeah, two good ones. First, mentally rehearse the worst-case scenario. What's the absolute worst that could happen? Okay, now decide in advance how you would react to that in the best possible way.
Like the author losing his book files and immediately deciding to rewrite them. Even better.
Exactly. Pre-planning your response removes the emotional panic in the moment. And second, don't just vaguely promise I'll never give up. Define actual objective criteria for what would make you reconsider or stop.
So it's not quitting on a bad day.
Right. It becomes a rational decision based on pre-agreed conditions, not an emotional reaction to temporary difficulty.
That story of Carolee Takak's the shooter. Losing his dominant hand, then winning Olympic gold with his left. Just incredible grit.
A truly amazing example of shifting focus and unwavering determination.
Another piece for staying the course is learning to love the process.
Yes. Since big goals take time, you have to find satisfaction in the journey itself, not just wait for the destination. The source uses the phrase, progress equals happiness.
Celebrating the small wins along the way.
Recognizing that success isn't just that future endpoint. It's embodied daily when you show up and do the work, trusting the process. The process becomes the goal, in a way.
And then there's managing your internal state, winning the emotional game.
This is huge. Our emotions can completely hijack our thinking and drive our behavior if we let them. We need to become the master, not the slave. The source points out how negative emotions can feel like a spell. You get stuck ruminating, you start filtering everything through that negative lens, seeing only problems.
And it seems to attract more negativity.
It really can feel that way. So, some tips for managing this. First, recognize you are not your emotions. They're temporary weather patterns passing through. You are the sky, the stable awareness behind them.
Like the sun behind the clouds analogy.
Exactly. Second, try not to cluster them. Don't let disappointment spiral into anger, then despair. Compartmentalize if you can. And maybe most practically, avoid making big decisions when you're in the grip of strong negative emotions. Don't quit the job when you're depressed. Don't send that furious email when you're seeing red. Wait.
Which leads nicely into self-compassion.
Yeah.
The book really champions this.
It does. It argues it's not weakness or letting yourself off the hook. It's actually a vital safety net. It builds resilience. It's far more effective for long-term motivation than constantly beating yourself up.
It tackles the myths, like it makes you complacent.
Right. The argument is the opposite. Self-compassion gives you the resilience to get back up after failing, whereas harsh self-criticism can just make you want to give up entirely.
Mhm.
Developing it is about changing that inner voice instead of, "You idiot. Okay, that didn't work. It's all right. What can I learn? I'll do better next time." Simple shifts like that, practiced consistently.
Like the 7-day challenge mentioned.
Yeah, practical ways to build that muscle.
And finally, sustaining motivation. Tapping into different drivers.
The source lists 4 main types of fuel. Love, wanting to contribute, make a difference. Desire, designing your ideal life, like the author's vision for his business providing freedom. Pain, the negative consequences of not changing, like hating your current job. And ego, the drive to succeed, be recognized, maybe prove doubters wrong.
You can use all of those.
Absolutely. Leveraging whichever motivations resonate most strongly with you at different times can provide the fuel to keep taking action over the long term.
Wow. Okay, so this deep dive has really taken us through the whole journey, hasn't it? From what belief even is, its immense power, to spotting our own limits, replacing them, building those core positive beliefs,
Applying the practical formula: environment, action, desire, discomfort.
and then crucially, how to keep it all going.
Yeah.
Sustaining it through the inevitable ups and downs with long-term thinking, grit, self-compassion.
Yeah, the overarching message from your source material seems undeniable. Belief isn't some fixed thing you either have or you don't. It's presented as a skill, something you can actively learn, practice, and master.
And when you combine that cultivated belief with consistent action, with perseverance, that's when it really becomes the engine, shaping your reality, building that solid confidence, leading to actual results you can see and feel.
The sources you brought us really do lay out a roadmap, not just the what, but the how. Practical steps for applying this in your own life. That power is genuinely available to you.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, here's a powerful thought from the material to leave you with. Remember, we are the only species who can use our imagination to turn the invisible into the visible.
So the question is, how will you choose to use that extraordinary power starting today?